It is the RIOT podcast. Happy Thursday, April 14th. How's it going?
Good.
Fantastic.
Great.
And you?
And yourselves?
It feels like we're recreating one of the breaks from the show because they just sound very similar.
Well, and it's always like, we always check in with each other during the big show that we do. And so it feels weird when we do it again for the podcast.
Yeah.
We're like, nothing's really changed. We're still doing good.
It's weird. It's just weird to try. Maybe this is just because I'm not professional enough. It's weird to just start up a conversation here when we don't have a specific topic.
Well, we can always say, we hope you guys who are listening are doing well. And thank you for joining our podcast today.
And we could do it. We could do a thing where we go, how are you doing? And wait for you to answer.
That's even more awkward.
Yeah, it's even weird. Like if they're sitting by themselves listening, they're like, very good.
Very good, thank you.
Doing great.
Well, I wanted to be an interactive podcast.
Yeah, don't ever be embarrassed to talk back to us, even in the podcast form.
Sure. So what's in the show today?
So today, one of the things that we talked about was a man who must just love Wendy's because he decided to pose as a DEA agent in order to get a 50% off little coupon or discount every time he goes.
What do you guys think, though? Do you think he really loved Wendy's or he just really loved getting a discount wherever he went?
You talked about it in there. Like, he was doing this for over 2 years. And if he was doing this at Wendy's, I am sure.
It couldn't have been the only place,
he was doing this every single place that he could have, but he was falsifying what he did for his living. And we just didn't realize that even if you, DEA or what, you could be getting half off at Wendy's.
Right.
Which is a lot. That's a big percentage. 50% is so big.
Well, is that normally a military or police discount?
I feel like that's really high.
No.
I thought they get like 10, 20% maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
No, dude, you get a free small Frosty.
Yeah, you get a free junior Frosty. That's what I don't understand is if you wanted it that bad, just download the app, man. They give you like a free fry on there. Right? You can get buy one, get one free. There's so many discounts. You really had to just pretend to be someone you're not. Well, I think he had like a little power trip. That's what it was.
I think he likes to lie, and that was like his rush for the day while he got his lunch.
He likes to feel important.
Yeah, so we talk about him and just his jail time now. I
see in the podcast we also talk about Kim Kardashian wearing a diaper. Isaiah, you didn't get to weigh in on that.
Would you like
to? You have any thoughts?
See, in my mind, I haven't worn a diaper in at least 3 weeks. So,
please don't tell us that if that's true.
I don't know. Diapers seem uncomfortable to me. I barely like wearing underwear as is, so that just seems like too much.
Well, if you were so into something that you were going to wear, or like if you're an astronaut, remember you have to wear them all the time. Would you, if it was for something that you were so passionate about and you couldn't go to the bathroom for a longer time, would you wear a diaper? Was really the question.
Yeah. See, I can't picture anything that I'm that passionate about.
Yeah.
That I'm more passionate about not wearing a diaper. And it's not even the fact of wearing a diaper. Like if it was wearing a diaper and not going in it, then that's one thing. But the idea of you're wearing a diaper because you think you're going to need it, that's where I think I don't want to do whatever it is. You know?
Well, you draw the line there?
That's right. I think that's a good line.
I don't know. I feel like if you had to do something, like if I couldn't make it through the entire show without having to use the restroom, but I had to sit in here.
Medical is different.
Yes,
medical
I guess so.
is different.
Yeah,
this is not medical.
No,
this doesn't even.
Just for fun, I guess.
No.
But,
you're just so committed to radio. You had so much of a passion for your job that you don't have to leave your desk.
I'm not leaving this seat until the show ends.
If you're not doing that, then you're just being lazy because I can see the bathroom.
Yes.
And even us, and we're like, we would prefer you just actually go to the bathroom because we don't have to smell if you do. Or even be uncomfortable knowing that you are wearing one.
Just wearing a diaper. If I was just wearing a diaper, you think that would make you feel uncomfortable a little bit?
I think it would.
You're
for some reason.
Corner
I feel
and
like
your face is turning red.
It'd be so uncomfortable. I feel like if I had to wear a diaper every single day, just strapping that thing on in the morning, it would just feel bad. I'd feel like a little kid.
I would wonder too. Like, would we be able to tell?
No. Well,
when you're going, when you're going, not that you're wearing one.
When I'm going?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you just had to pee during the show, during your break.
Afterwards, I would look very relieved.
This is going in a really weird direction that I'd like to pass on. So
I know.
I think we're good just to start the podcast now.
All right. Let's move on.
We've proposed a lot of questions, so you're welcome to tell us your answer by texting us at 877-2-RADIO-U, and of course, throw in that you're a podcast listener.
Questions we'll hopefully never have to answer.
No, I don't want that to happen.
Well, enjoy.
Thank you.
And we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
We've done you a favor by selecting the best of the worst and compiling it all in one place. RIOT. podcast, Radio U.
Got some good news here for you. You ready for good news?
Love good news.
At least if you're in school, this feels like decently good news.
Sure.
In the state, and if you're in the state of Indiana.
Okay, now you're lessening it.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep drilling. If your name is Eric, this is good news for you. No.
If you're Eric in Indiana and you happen to be in school.
Yeah. So one of the terrible things about the COVID-19 pandemic was working and schooling from home.
Sure.
And one of the problems with schooling from home was that people are worried about if you're in school is, what if the schooling from home extends to your snow days, and now instead of on a snow day, it's like, we don't have to go to school. It's instead you have to sit in front of your computer all day and do school that way.
Yeah.
Well, the state of Indiana is actually taking steps to make sure that's not a reality. They have just passed a law where school districts in Indiana are limited to 3 virtual student instruction days per year.
Per year?
So yeah, so they can have 3 if there's a 3 snow days and they want to use those as virtual instruction days, they can. But after that,
they can only do 3.
Then you just get snow days.
I thought you meant like this is a COVID stance, and they're like, no,
Yeah.
we're never going back to virtual school again.
Well,
we can only do 3 days.
Technically, it feels at this moment that shutting schools down for COVID kind of feels that it would be unlikely, but
to happen
especially
again,
in Indiana, but who knows? But I guess this would also, it doesn't specify the reasoning for the virtual school days. So I guess for COVID too, that would apply.
Maybe it was just that you wanted to feel like you at least were leave it, like if you were even in a virtual world, you were still having a normal thing of a snow day or I guess, did we have any other days off besides that, besides holidays? There wasn't anything else.
Not a lot, right?
It wasn't it's too nice today. Yeah. Why don't you have 3 days of that?
It is weather related, but sometimes you'll see schools that have school off when it gets too hot.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
Their air conditioning doesn't work.
Okay, that's because the school's bad.
Yeah.
There wasn't any other reason besides that.
Yeah. So now you can rest easy if you're at least in the state of Indiana. Now, I have no idea if any other state has tackled this at all, if they have any other, but Indiana, they just did this. So they're putting their foots down and saying, 3 virtual school days a year, but that's it. No more, because they want, I guess, it's kind of hard to keep everybody's morale up, right? In school, it's hard enough.
It was, I think.
And then the hope of a snow day, I think that's a big deal for some people.
They said that this means that if you had a virtual learning day, it would have to be in sync with a actual teacher at that moment. So it's not like you would because you could just log in and do your classwork.
Oh, yeah.
But there would have to be a teacher, so at least 50% of the day of your school day work would be following along in a teacher-instructed style, which they say some people do better with.
I didn't even think about the
teacher, because you never do.
Yeah, right. That's how teachers
you don't care
constantly. Yeah, right. But no, I wonder if the teachers they must look forward to snow days too, right?
Probably.
I mean, it's their job,
man.
And if you just got an unscheduled day off of your job, you're not going to be happy about that.
Dude, I had some bad teachers when I was in school.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even just like snow days. They checked out a lot of days.
Well, like we were just talking about, sometimes
I think they like it.
You go to work, but that doesn't mean you're working. And teachers can do that too,
right?
They
can do it too.
Well, happy for Indiana. If only it was less than 3 days. That's the only way it could be better, right?
And if only it was for work.
Yeah, for everybody.
There are 2 types of people in this world, and Hudson has a problem with both. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
I'd like to talk to you, you two and everybody, on behalf of the U.S. military, where it seems that recruitment has dropped off.
Yeah.
And they say, especially due to COVID-19 or since COVID-19, since the pandemic, they've been struggling a little more with pulling in new recruits. And so they're putting out the numbers, and there is some money to be made now if you'd like to join up with the military.
For the Air Force?
For the Air Force, and then I'm also I first saw the Air Force, and now I'm seeing the Navy.
Oh.
And so I don't know if the other branches of the military maybe as well, and it's just not as well publicized.
I get a little boat
either.
sick, so.
You boat sick?
Boat sick sometimes.
So Navy
not
is
so
out.
much, yeah.
Well,
Maybe
I'm sure
air
the
sick,
military
too.
would love to let you know, the Navy would love to let you know that not all, contrary to popular belief, not all jobs at the Navy involve being on a boat.
I know that's true, but I don't want to find out by them yelling at me while I throw up because I'm sick.
Come on. That's an old stereotype, Nikki.
Or they won't let me wear my seasick bands. Like,
oh my gosh. I need those bands, all right?
I don't care if they don't meet the uniform requirements.
Well, you just get in, you get the signing bonus, and then maybe you get discharged after they find out you get seasick.
Well, what are they saying you could get?
So the Air Force, and then I also see the Navy, they're both offering up to $50,000 as a signing bonus if you are willing to get in. Now, it depends on which field, which part of what branch you're getting into, because some jobs that involve more risk or that involve you just shipping off to training right away. For example, the Air Force has some where they will give you an increased bonus if you can ship off to training within 5 days.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's a fast turnaround.
That is a quick turn. You walk into the office, you better be ready to have your bags packed and ready to go.
That's like when you go into a job hiring thing. They're like, well, what about now? Why don't you start right now?
Right.
Yeah.
People
Why
are
don't you just
so
quit your
desperate.
job right
on
now?
the spot. So up to $50,000 you could get. And then, I could get into specifics, but I don't know that much about the military. So, and I'm not doing it as much as I would love $50,000. I don't think I'm cut out for that. And I like doing this.
Yeah,
so,
true.
I don't want to leave, but does either of you, $50,000 sound nice? Would you like to serve your country?
I would love to. I just don't think I'm the perfect fit for those jobs. I don't like being yelled at. I really don't like to run.
Not much of a runner, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to, again, yell at me for not wanting to do things. And the more you tell me not to do something, the more I get mad about it. So
I wonder maybe what the military needs to do is put out some, commercials. I don't even know what their commercials are like now, but they would always be like, be
strong.
Be strong. And it shows like them going through boot camp
Army
and whatever,
strong.
doing tough stuff. And it's like, maybe you need to show recruitment that shows it's not so hard to be in the military. It's like you're just sitting in front of, because a lot of the Air Force especially, right? That's like, it's not exactly a desk job, but you're flying drones, you're doing stuff where
it's real.
You're in an office or whatever, you're in front of a screen. It's not, I don't know if you have to go through how much physical training you go through. I really don't know. Sure, there's still some. But
Reckless speculation.
maybe it's not. Maybe we just have an old-fashioned idea of what the military is, and things are changing and evolving. It's 2022.
You got to still do the boot camp thing at the beginning, and I don't want to get there and say, "Well, Hudson said that I didn't have to do anything." There's a $40,000 bonus for if you do like survival, evasion, resistance.
That sounds tough.
Escape stuff. And
I can barely survive right here. Forget about in the military.
There's extra $50,000 bonuses for special warfare operators and bomb technicians, which they say are actually the two most dangerous jobs. So before we ooh and all that, I don't know if we want to join into that.
And so you're only getting $50,000 for that, huh?
Extra, like above and beyond that.
On what you normally get.
So you could be getting bonuses on bonuses.
So anybody, so none of us want to sign up for the military?
No,
even with this price point?
It just doesn't really seem like, it's my forte. I would hate to get there for them to love me so much and me just want to quit the whole time,
Sure.
They'd be like, wow, you're just so valuable. And I'd just be like, I really hate this.
Your heart isn't in it.
It's not really for me. But I'm sure there's somebody who's just ready to roll. The whole 5-day thing is what's crazy. Like, if you can leave right now. So if you have a really spontaneous friend who just all the time just is like, I'm going to go do this, even though they don't really think about the consequences, you might want to forewarn them on this. This probably is the thing to do.
Yeah, they just see they get dollar signs in their eyes and see the 50,000.
They're like, I'm going.
Yeah, right.
See you guys later. I'm heading to the military.
I needed a new car.
Some people can't say no too. So I can't go to the Army, like the recruit thing.
Oh, yeah.
I would just be like, well, maybe.
maybe this is the path for me. I don't know. Now that you're saying that.
No.
It sounds like these two need to do a little less tick-tocking and a little more tick-listening. The Riot with Nikki and Hudson. Radio U.
Nikki, what do you think when you think Kim Kardashian?
Empire.
Empire?
Yeah.
Sure. Glamour, maybe?
Sure.
Fashion?
Sure.
Maybe you need to slightly alter what you're thinking when you're thinking of Kim Kardashian. She was doing an interview on Ellen yesterday. I thought Ellen was canceled.
Well, she was, but her show also is just done. I think it's just the final episodes.
Actually canceled. No, I don't mean like canceled by culture or whatever. I thought the show was done.
It is, but they're just finishing it up.
Not soon enough.
You never watched it to begin with.
I know, because I don't like it. Kim Kardashian was on Ellen. I guess I would think, she's always got something to promote, but they have that new show on Hulu, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so she's doing an interview on Ellen, and Ellen was making a joke about how people only see you in things that you can hardly move in. Ellen, Ellen, you slay me. But Kim Kardashian was kind of responds by saying, yeah, it's different when she's at home, of course. She's not all dressed up like this. Mm-hmm. She'll just wear pajamas and sweats and no makeup, as you would.
Normal person.
But she's very committed to fashion, obviously, and looking good when she leaves the house. So she was saying she would really do anything for her fashion. She was like, this is the quote, if I have to wear a diaper and not go to the bathroom, I don't care what I have to do.
Oh, okay. When I first heard this, I thought like wearing the diaper was fashion.
Yeah, I thought that too when I saw the headline.
If you're wearing an outfit you can't take off.
That you literally is difficult to get out of.
You can't go to the bathroom if you need to. That makes way more sense.
Yeah, that's something you don't think about though.
Well, it's because we don't dress like that.
Yeah, but you see the pictures sometimes, and the outfits are ridiculous, but you don't really fathom the idea of how would you have to take that off and get that on if you did need to go to the bathroom?
I think you have to hold it.
Apparently. No, you don't. You have to wear a diaper.
No, well, she's saying she would, but I don't know how many famous people would own up to that.
Oh, I think
you see the diaper through the dress.
She's at the highest level. She's at the highest level of like, she could just, I guess she has an image to keep up at this point. But she could also she's Kim Kardashian. She can do whatever she wants. Mm-hmm. She doesn't have to wear an outfit that's hard to get out if she doesn't want to. She could wear all of the most convenient outfits to go to the bathroom. Make that a new style, actually.
Oh, yeah.
A new fashion. Yep. Convenient, what like a suit, what do you call it? With the flap? The flap on the, like the old pajamas back in the day.
I don't know what the technical term is for
bring that back.
Yeah, she could.
Bring that into fashion. But she said, and before you think, oh, she's just kind of joking, it's probably a little bit of exaggeration, but she's also admitted that she had adult diapers for her 8-hour law exam as well.
Oh.
So she is well familiar, Kim Kardashian, with wearing adult diapers.
Well, it's easy for us to say, oh, we would just hold it. But we don't know until the moment.
I wouldn't hold it. But I also wouldn't wear adult diapers.
You know what?
I wouldn't take an 8-hour law exam.
We also wouldn't be in the position for fashion to have to even worry about this. We're good.
Yeah, but I think, I don't know if some people will be weird about this, but when you're looking at Kim Kardashian now
you're seeing diapers.
You gotta see a diaper.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
We have a Florida man on our hands.
What'd he do?
We have a Florida man that has been arrested for impersonating an officer. He was pretending to be an undercover DEA agent, Drug Enforcement Administration.
Yeah.
The guy's name is Jesse Stover. He's 57. He doesn't, just based off of his mugshot, he doesn't look, you know what? He was deep undercover, it looks like.
I always like people's mugshots because I just want to know like the story of how well they did getting into the mugshot area. Because doesn't it look like he's wearing... like that's not his shirt.
It looks like a smock, like he's getting his hair cut
at the barber. Yeah.
Sometimes, like if people spit or if they do other things, like when they're getting arrested, you get to wear different outfit options.
Yeah.
So it made me think, like, I wonder what he did to get the smock.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I don't know, because a lot of times too, when you're seeing the crazy mugshots, that's people that are under the influence of some substance. We have no reason to believe.
Oh, he's under something. It's Wendy's.
Yeah. Right. That's well, he wishes, because this is what happened. How he got caught. He had been reportedly going to this same Wendy's for more than 2 years in the city of Bunnell, Florida,
sure,
near Daytona Beach. And so he had been going there for about 2 years and claiming that he was a DEA officer to get a Wendy's discount.
A half-off discount for more than 2 years.
Well, that's a good deal.
So if you, like, is that for...
That's the 4 for 2.
Is that for anybody who comes in wearing, who's like a police officer?
Who claims to be a police officer, evidently. You don't even have to be one. Like, if you just convince them.
If you just convince them, so he would just show the badge, and I guess that was what he would do.
But evidently, so this goes on for over 2 years, and then for some reason, earlier this week,
a manager
caused the manager to question giving this man the discount. He flashed a badge. The manager wanted to take a closer look at the badge, and this is where things started to spiral, started to get out of Jesse Stover's control, because he became argumentative. He didn't want to show the badge more in detail, and the Wendy's workers called 911. The police showed up. Turns out it wasn't a real badge, of course, and now he's been arrested.
So, Isaiah, it was a gold badge, probably not real, that said the word concealed weapon permit. So that's all it said, and it was not real.
If you just saw that in a moment, though, I guess if you're a Wendy's employee, you could be tricked.
Yeah, that's not nice. You don't go do that.
And you think so.
People do that for like military, they pretend, but you're not supposed to do that.
No, and like all the people that work at Wendy's, like a lot of times it's like high schoolers and stuff, and so it's like a lot of younger people, so if you just flash the badge, they're not going to be like, oh, let me see that badge again. Like they're not going to like pressure him on it. But it's funny that the manager was working there, even though he'd already been here coming for 2 years. You think about how much money you saved, like let alone.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's almost worth it to be a police officer just to get your salary, and on top, if I would eat at Wendy's every single day, if I could get 50% off every single time.
I don't think you're supposed to be going in expecting the discount. I think it's nice if you get one.
Yeah.
But the problems really come up if you're expecting something.
I can't believe it's 50%.
That's incredible.
I know.
That might just be maybe there. We don't know.
Maybe just for this guy.
Yeah, we don't know if that's across the board.
He kept talking his discount up every time. He's like, actually at that other Wendy's, they give me 35%. So what if you bumped it up a little bit?
Wendy's
keep me
needs
going.
to-
Or at Burger King, they give me 37%. So you might want to keep me coming here.
Wendy's needs to not tell exactly what all that is, because then you get more people who are trying to lie their way through that.
Well, I mean, do you wonder where else he was using this, or if it was only Wendy's?
No, I'm sure it's
Everywhere.
other places.
You think he was just
Everywhere.
And it took him over 2 years to get caught.
Yep.
He's good. What can you say?
Convincing.
I'm surprised he wasn't just wearing the badge, like just having it
Just
out
having
all
it
the
on
time.
his chest.
But then probably someone would have noticed earlier.
Well, then he could not really reasonably say he was undercover either, could he?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He's just
Never
flashing that thing
mind.
Even
around
still,
everywhere.
going to Wendy's and saying, I'm an undercover DEA officer kind of seems like it's blowing your cover, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're willing to in order for those sweet hamburgers.
Yeah, for that 50% off, he was like, well, I'm willing to blow my cover for 50% off at Wendy's.
Wait, hold on. What about this? What if the employees at Wendy's were the drug dealers? And so they wanted to keep him happy because if he started getting upset with them, then their operation might be up.
Hey,
Inside job.
Yeah.
I didn't see one at Wendy's, but I've seen a few drive-through deals.
Yeah.
Go through.
You never know.
So that is something to bring up.
You never know.
If you've ever asked yourself, just how bad can it get? We've got your answer right here. Worst of the Riot, Radio U.
And you see a decapitated deer,
Aw.
don't be alarmed.
Don't be alarmed?
Don't be alarmed. It's just fine. Deer are meant to be decapitated.
I think the deer say no.
Well, they're already dead anyways.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought that we were killing them by decapitating them.
I mean, that is one way to do it.
Is it because people...
It's not the way I choose, but it feels a little inhumane.
It does. Is it?
I just like to kill them by shooting them with a gun instead.
How sweet of you.
Yeah.
Do people just like take the heads off of them or something?
Actually, that is something that you can do. Although if you are in Michigan, the state of Michigan wants to let you know, the Department of Natural Resources wants to let you know that if you're seeing headless deer on the side of the road, because they've been getting reports of that, it may be because people are that have roadkill salvage permits are doing that because they can take any part of the deer. So, I mean, it's kind of weird, but if you wanted to take the deer head, put the what do? You mount it or whatever.
Well, is that because I know people question how long the deer's been on the side of the road, and like different states have different rules on can you take it to actually eat the deer meat. So maybe if that's not allowed, well, at least you can take the head, and then do you stuff it and put it on the wall?
That's what they say that's what you can do.
What else would you do?
Yeah, but I just think it'd be weird. Why would you when you put a deer head on your wall, I kind of thought that's like a trophy of like, look at this big deer that I killed. But if it's just a deer you got off to the side of the road, what, are you going to lie to people or are you going to be truthful? It's like, Hey, that's a nice buck you shot there, Jim. Actually,
well,
I just happened to spot it on the side of the road.
I think that is odd, but
Yeah.
I think people decorate with them.
Oh,
And
yeah, okay.
I could never do this. I could never saw off a deer's head.
Yeah.
So, but maybe if you do, at least you did that. So,
Yeah, that still requires
hard
some kind of
enough.
fortitude.
Yeah.
All this said, so that's one reason, but the real reason you might see them springing up a little more often, and I don't mean this deer springing up on the side of the road without a head. That'd be crazy.
I'd call someone.
Yeah,
if that
you should file a report on that. But actually, what is happening is the reason that you're seeing more deer without their heads on the side of the road in Michigan is likely because they are doing testing for a brain disease. It's called chronic waste disease.
Aww.
Chronic wasting disease, which sounds horrible, even the name.
Also, they want to take the deer's brain to track and see because it's such a big thing with deer now.
Yeah.
And they have no evidence that it can be transmitted to humans or other animals, but they just want to test. So that's why they take the heads with them.
I sure hope it can't be transmitted to humans, not because I've been doing anything with deer, but because listen to what happens if the deer does get chronic wasting disease. Emaciation, I don't even know what that means.
Oh, that means you waste away. You just lose, you can't.
That sounds horrible.
Gain weight. And it's not in I'm just finally skinny way.
Right,
It's in a horrible way.
Abnormal behavior, loss of bodily functions, and possibly death.
Okay.
So you do not want to get chronic wasting disease. Now the good news is that according to Sergeant Carter Woodwick, he's one of the conservation officers with the DNR. He says, as far as he knows, there is no deer have tested positive in the region yet.
There's no fresh by date because it was spoiled when they made it. Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
Cleveland Browns backup quarterback Baker Mayfield is making headlines.
Now, wasn't he the first, whatever you call the main quarterback?
Starter, some would say.
Now he hasn't had a place to go yet, or
Not quite yet.
Not quite yet.
And he's not exactly making himself seem desirable as he is now out. He did a podcast interview with a podcast called You Never Know. Now, I've never heard of that. I don't know. Check it out at your own risk. But what he said in the podcast, he had a few comments that are kind of questionable, some are saying. One is that he feels 100% disrespected by the Cleveland Browns organization. He feels lied to, that they went out and traded for Deshaun Watson to replace him. And then the other one that is a little more egregious is that he said, now I don't know exactly the context, but he says, I would love to show up to somebody's cubicle and just boo at them and watch them crumble.
The fans will boo at him.
Yeah, yep, that's what he's talking about.
Baker Mayfield feels a bit upset and mad at everybody. I don't know if you could actually do that.
He's pouting, and of course everybody is saying, and I'll throw my hat in the ring as well. If you pay me Baker Mayfield's salary, everybody can boo me as much as they want.
No problem.
I'll deal with it.
Well, Isaiah, I know you like him, but I feel like Baker Mayfield, I'm sure he was 100% disrespected, and I'm sure it seems like Cleveland maybe could have handled that better, but I don't know if he's handling it as well as he could.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. I think, obviously the situation for him was crappy because he just got his job given away pretty much. As anybody, I think would be pretty upset. If they told Hudson that he was going to be the host of the Riot and then they just gave it to me, I think they'd be pretty upset. I don't know how Hudson would react.
Yeah.
I assume he'd be kind of sad.
He'll go boo at your cubicle.
He'd be booing in my office over there. I think for Baker, it was a bad situation for him. Obviously, he just took us to the playoffs a year ago, played hurt this season, and played through injury and battled for Cleveland, and then they gave his job away. So it's understandable.
But why would he boo at the fans, though?
Does he get booed a lot?
So there was earlier this season, we had won a couple games, and there was 3 games that happened where we were winning the game, but our offense wasn't playing well, and so the fans were booing. And then after the game, he was asked how he felt that the Browns were being booed, and he said he said it's okay. So the fans that are booing are the same fans that are really loud when we're on offense, so they don't matter anyway.
Wow. So I'm curious now that you don't have to defend Baker. You don't have an emotional investment in him anymore, do you?
Who, Baker?
Yeah.
No, I mean, we have a new quarterback now. So.
Right. So you don't have to blindly defend him, even if it's clearly wrong.
Yeah.
So how do you, what are your true feelings on this?
On the podcast?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
You think he's making things worse for himself?
No, I mean, it was the podcast was an hour and 30 minutes. I assume the majority of our listeners probably haven't listened to it, or the majority of people haven't listened to it.
Yeah.
I listened to it.
Make our podcast out long.
Yeah, exactly. I listened to a good amount of it. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but just such a small sliver of it was about the Browns. It was so much more about his personal life and stuff like that. There was just a couple little things about the Browns. That's why if you read any of the headlines, there's really only 3 things you're going to see over and over again.
But they're pretty bad things. That's pretty bad. He wants to boo the fans.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, does that matter, though, to a team that's going to try to, if they want him to be their quarterback, they know if you want Baker Mayfield to be your quarterback, you know what comes with Baker, and this is just kind of what he is. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're willing to take him on as your quarterback, as the Browns were, he led us to the playoffs. It's just his personality. So at this point, you kind of know who he is, and he's not. Even if he started acting perfectly fine, it's just the same thing with LeBron James. LeBron can be a perfect human, and people are still going to hate him for it. No matter what, Baker has his haters. He's not going to be somebody he's not, and that's just how he is.
I love someone's response. They're for $18.8 million, you can throw rotten fruit at me.
Yeah, exactly.
Emails, I do not care.
I just feel that if Baker, teams already don't seems to be exactly excited about bringing him in, and if you are going to bring him in, you have to sell him to your fans.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to sell him to the fans as hey, this is better, this is the best we can do, and he can do. I mean, at the end of the day, he's just got to win on the field. But he's not going to start off on a great foot with the fans if he has one bad game and they start booing. He's already made comments like
They're
this.
Mad at him.
He's just laying the groundwork for him to not be liked even more, no matter where he goes.
Well, I leave you with one last comment on the situation, which I think is my favorite. Jokes on Baker. People in cubicles already hate themselves. So you don't need to add to it.
That's right.
Would Hudson and Nikki's celebrity couple nickname be Hucky or Nidson? It's a good thing they aren't together. The Riot, Radio U.
The Elon Musk versus Twitter saga continues.
I never thought when we started talking about Elon Musk and Twitter, at this point, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, was it even that long ago? It feels a while, but
I did not see this part coming, but when he declined being on the board, everybody said this was the next thing.
Speculation ran rampant, but here's the timeline. Elon Musk initially bought a 9.2% stake in Twitter, which was the largest stake, although that's not a controlling stake. And that was actually back in March, even though the news just came out a week or two ago. Then, was it just last week? It might have even been this week. No, it was last week.
Yeah.
Last week, he was publicly offered a position on the Twitter board, which it seemed that he was going to take. And then at the last moment, he backed out.
Which is funny. You wonder if they were offering that to him and he never really truly wanted it. But if they were offering it to keep this from happening, because if you are on the board, it limits how much of the company you can own. And so people are like, well, why wouldn't he want to be on the board? And then came talks of the SEC stuff and talks of, well, maybe Elon Musk wants to own more of Twitter. And I didn't think it was going to be all of it.
I wonder if when he was on the... Okay, well, first of all, so now it's come out that he's made an offer to buy Twitter, and he's going to be paying a pretty penny for it. It would cost roughly $43 billion.
And it counts as
he's good for it.
It's a takeover.
Yeah.
He's worth $260 billion.
Yeah, so he can cover that.
He can do this, and that means it would be $54.20 per share in cash.
Which is over 50%. That's a 50% premium over the stock price. So so he's definitely paying a lot. He says it's a final offer. He's not going to go back and forth on this, but he wants to buy it. Now, the kind of the crux of all of the stuff he's saying about why he wants to buy it is he thinks it's so important for free speech, but he doesn't think, and he doesn't get the impression from if he's not allowed to buy the company, and from when he was, I guess, offered a spot on the board, and
Unless
whatever
he owns
the
it, it won't
conversations he's been a
change.
part of, he doesn't feel like they're fostering free speech globally the way that he wants them to, and he doesn't think it's a good investment if they won't do it the way he wants them to. And so that's why he says either he's going to buy the company so that he can do that the way he wants to, or he doesn't think it's a good investment, so he's going to sell his 9.2% outright and just leave Twitter as it is.
Because he has said that in the SEC filing, if his offer is not accepted, then he'll sell his 9.2% shares.
Yeah, so
and then he's done with it.
So I don't know. It sounds like if he is able to do this takeover, that Twitter would change. Like, it'd still be Twitter, but it sounds like it would change a lot where they exercise some control over like cyberbullying and just certain things people can say and not say on their platform, which is their right to do. And it sounds like he would make it a lot more like, yeah, just say whatever you want because it's free speech and that's important. So I don't know how it would change exactly, but that's what he thinks is really important and why he believes in Twitter so much if he can buy it.
Man, it'd be so cool to have so much money. You're like, nah, I don't think I want to be on your board. I think I want to buy you.
Yeah, I think I just want the whole
thing.
company. Even if it wasn't $43 billion, that'd still be a cool thing to be able to do.
So I don't know how long it takes for a offer to be accepted. So I don't know, like, do you hear today? Or is it like, well, we'll get back to you in a couple of weeks? I'm just not sure.
Right. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of conversations that need to be had.
That's true.
The sooner the better for a decision, for sure. Well, we'll find out.
Why are Hudson, Nikki, and Isaiah always eating on the show? The more we feed them, the less they talk. The Riot. Radio U.
We're doing life all wrong, Nikki.
Why?
We're sitting here doing actual work when we could get paid.
Hey, hang on, because people do more real work.
Do.
Look at stop it. Look at us and say we're not doing work at all.
We're doing work. We're typing.
We're talking.
Yeah. We've got to wake up. We've got to be like, we're doing actual some kind of work where there's some kind of standards, right? We have something that we have to be held to.
Accountable to.
Right. We should have, if we were smart, we would just develop a grift and rip people off. Like,
she's not ripping them off.
Yes, she is.
She's actually, well, I mean, she's consulting with them. You could technically say if you're in the consultant field, that's sketchy sometimes.
Yeah. Well, especially when you are a baby name consultant.
It's really cute. I didn't know this would be a job.
The woman's name, Taylor Humphrey. She's 33. And she gets paid by, supposedly, you would probably assume, rich folks to give them baby names when they're expecting. And she makes a ton of bank doing it.
She's named more than 100 babies, taking in more than $150,000 in, it looks like, since she started, which would have been in 2020.
Why couldn't we come up with something like this?
You want to name things?
If they'll pay me for it.
If they will, do you think you can?
You know
get
what? I'd name things for free. I'd name things for free if you give me the option. But if you're gonna, I take that back because then people will expect me to name things for free. It'll drive down my price. I will charge you. I will undercut this woman.
Yeah.
I'll do what? $500. $500 a baby name.
Well, let's tell you some of the other things she's done.
Okay.
And we'll see if it matches the trend of like taking the money for help. So she worked as a matchmaker.
Okay.
A fundraiser. An event planner. A Reiki practitioner.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
2 feature-length screenplays exploring religion, spirituality, science, futurism.
And what happened to those screenplays?
I don't know
they
where
get
they
picked
went.
up.
So then she became obsessed with baby names and found, she says, her true calling.
Oh, yeah.
And they work together, do almost an investigation into the history, into the family, find old family names, and then go from there to see if there's a baby name that matches.
I think she's just making stuff up. And I think I could easily do this as well.
You could too. Well, I thought the only reason we would need someone like this is when we get new DJs, it is seriously sometimes harder to figure out what the DJ will be, their name. Because a lot of times our DJ names are not like our real names.
Sure.
They're nicknames.
Yeah.
And we could use help sometimes.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea, but Should we get paid so much money for it?
Well, next time we have a new DJ, then I'm just asking you.
We're going to call. All right, if you'll pay me.
I'll pay you.
Yeah. I guess anything I do here, I get paid for, right?
I will pay you a little bonus above and beyond.
A DJ name bonus,
That's right. For our new baby DJs.
I just can't. How do you get started in this? That's what her skill is. She's figured out how to sell doing essentially nothing to rich people. Yeah, that's a great skill to have, and I can't do that. I'm not a salesman at all. You put me in a room with people that want to spend money, and I'm not going to get any money out of them.
We're so bad at it.
I'm going to scare them away.
We're so bad at it, they actually want to take their money back.
They are going to ask me for money. Yeah, they're going to be like, you've wasted my time. You need to pay me for even being here.
The Riot promise is that they'll always have an opinion on everything they talk about. But that doesn't mean any of their opinions will make sense. This is The Riot on Radio U.
What's today?
14th?
It's Maundy Thursday.
It's
right?
what?
What's Maundy Thursday?
I looked it up when you said that, and it's like Spy Thursday or something.
Spy Thursday?
I don't. Listen.
Wait, was it Maundy Tuesday?
When we sometimes.
I don't know.
What's that even mean?
I don't know. I think it's a Catholic thing or something.
It's going into Easter.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when we don't know something, it gets worse when we try to work
act like
it
we
out.
know it. Yeah.
Right.
So,
well, tomorrow's definitely Good Friday.
We know that
I
part.
know that. And then Sunday is Easter. And with Easter coming up, one of the things you get on Easter.
You get Easter
candy. Yeah. What's your guys' favorite Easter candy?
Anything that's not like I only like chocolate bars usually. I don't like the jelly beans or the other filler stuff that sometimes you used to get in your Easter eggs.
Yeah, the little those little tiny, like anything tiny. Mm-hmm. What about you?
Like my favorite chocolate bars to Take 5.
Okay.
Candy wise, I would say Twizzlers.
You get either of those for Easter?
I mean, if I asked for them.
Must be nice.
You could sometimes fit the little fun size ones in the eggs.
Yeah, Twizzlers I guess you could see in the egg. I was thinking like...
Who are we kidding?
I mean, I'm not going to be opening eggs on Sunday, more than likely. I'm not going to have an Easter egg.
Yeah, but you don't go to the Easter...
Guess.
What about the Easter discount aisle on Monday after all the candy is
that might be an option for me, yes.
Yeah, what are you going to get?
I'm going to try to find Take 5s or Twizzlers.
I don't think they do.
I'm not going to buy one of those big mass bags. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Well, that might lead... Okay, for you guys didn't even ask mine, but it's Cadbury cream eggs.
We wanted to know. Thank you.
That's the best Easter candy.
Yeah.
But the question here is, there was several questions asked in a new poll of 2,000 Americans on behalf of Hi Chew, whatever that is.
You don't know Hi Chews?
What's Hi Chew? Is that like something when it's with drugs in it?
No. It's not
it's a little candy.
Hey man,
it's
like one of those High Chews,
it's
man.
Like a soft Jolly Rancher is the only way I can describe it.
It's like a mix between that and like a Starburst and stuff.
Never had it. Don't recognize it. Anyways, they did a poll, and they were asking people different stuff about candy, including, do you think you eat more candy now as an adult or when you were a kid?
Maybe as an adult, yeah.
You do? You think, Isaiah?
I don't really ever eat candy, so I would probably lean kid.
Really? Because I see you on there all the time eating Twizzlers.
I don't eat Twizzlers
you
like
eat
that.
Twizzlers all the time.
I eat them every now and then.
Every time I see you go in the break room, you walk out with a Twizzler in your hand.
That's not true. That is not even true. I do not. I eat Twizzlers every now and then. I haven't had a Twizzler from the break room probably in like 2 weeks.
I think we're out of them.
What do you have every night outside of ice cream?
Oreos.
And what does that count as?
That's a cookie.
It's which falls under?
You're not going to call Oreos a candy.
Oreos is not candy. I do not. It's not. It's different than chocolate, and it's different than candy. It's a cookie.
It's a cookie.
It's different. It's like ice cream.
Count.
It still falls under the sugar.
Well, if we're doing desserts as a whole, I might have more now. I don't know. I used to eat ice cream a lot as a child, but I would say the candy, like overall, I have no candy in my house. Like I don't just buy candy ever. And so the only time I ever eat candy is at Radio U, which is an issue. A huge problem because I spend a lot of time here.
And we do have a lot of candy constantly in the break room.
And haven't we all talked about we all have teeth problems?
Yeah, I know. We all talk about how we can't escape the dentist, and Hudson just doesn't go, so he's just neglecting it.
But maybe I don't go because I don't eat a lot of candy now. I really don't. As an adult, I definitely had more as a kid. Now, as an adult, you might be right, Nikki. If you're including all sugar, if Oreos and other stuff like that count, more junk food as a whole, Cheetos.
Yeah.
Maybe Cheetos? What?
What? That's junk food, isn't it? It's not sugar.
It's not like we're not putting that under the candy umbrella. That's a chip.
No. But if I'm saying I definitely ate more candy as a child. As an adult, I eat more probably junk food than I did as a child. But the reason I don't eat more candy is because I've realized as an adult, there's better things than candy. Well, if I'm going to eat meaningless, or not meaningless, but wasteful calories, not going to spend them on a Twix, going to spend it on something that tastes better.
Think of it as maybe when we were younger, we had more candy at holidays.
Yeah.
But as, not kids anymore, we spread that out nicely throughout the entire year.
Well, and you, as an adult, you can have as much as you want, as much as you can afford anyways. And, but I'm not, again, spending money on it. If you're showing me a bag of Twix and a bag of Cheetos, I'm taking the Cheetos for sure. But so they found their numbers were 52% of people eat more candy now as an adult than they did as a kid.
Well, quick Riot poll to 877 to Radio U, unofficial. Text in, you think you eat more candy now or when you were younger? And I think candy is behind, Easter's behind Halloween, as in like the most candy eaten holidays.
And where does Christmas fall?
Christmas?
You think it's third or second or?
I think it's third.
That goes into the opening of the sugar umbrella because that's more like the cookies and the chocolates and stuff.
But real quick on Easter and Halloween, when you get the candy haul, do you organize your candy before you're just all excited about it? You got to get all the Twix together, all
Hudson,
the Twizzlers together.
I love organization.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Even with candy.
Yeah, well, you're not alone. A lot of other people
organize it too.
57%.
Which is why the break room kills me because we don't organize.
It's all just in one big bag, right?
It's just a huge bag.
And whatever the best thing is in the bag is always gone anyway.
That's right.
So who wants to organize that?
You've made it all the way to the end of the Worst of the Riot. This show only exists because of support from listeners like you. Find out more and help out at RadioU.com/donate.